everyone! Welcome to Riko's Reading Room. Today, I'm going to read a funny action-packed story about how Samuel Moss, a 12th-generation scout, overcame all kinds of challenges, earned his elusive moonfrog badge, and finally became part of his family's album of scouting greatness. Enjoy! The Last Badge by George McClements. This year, a young grizzly scout named Samuel Moss was determined to earn a place in his family's album of scouting greatness. For 12 generations, the album of scouting greatness had been part of the Moss family. Samuel knew that within its pages were mementos of great grizzly scout achievements performed by uncles, grandfathers, cousins, a dog, that's a long story, and even Samuel's father. He had earned a Gold Salmon Award. The album of scouting greatness. Although Samuel often dreamed about looking through the album, there was a rule that made it impossible. Rule: you have to be in the album to look at the album. Sorry. Poof. Samuel hadn't performed a great feat. Yet. He was no slouch, mind you. Within a short time, Samuel had earned every badge the Grizzly Scouts had to offer. Every badge, that is, except one. Thumb Rustling Badge, Lip Syncing Badge, Igloo Badge, Plague Badge, Beard Care Badge, Inside Out Eyelid Badge, Web Spinning Badge, Burping the Alphabet Badge, Rocket Repair Badge, Toenail Clipping Badge, Egg Juggling Badge, Bigfoot Tracking Badge, Sheep Shearing Badge, Old Lady Crossing the Road Badge, Outrunning a Bear Badge, Monkey Grooming Badge, Swimming Upstream Badge, Haunting Badge, Screaming Badge, Fever Badge, UFO Sighting Badge, Ninja Training Badge, Thermonuclear Dynamics Badge, the ever-elusive Moonfrog Badge. In fact, no scout had ever earned a badge, possibly due to the incredibly difficult task of finding a moonfrog. The Moonfrog Badge, the Grizzly Scout Guidebook. What are you doing looking down here? There's really nothing to see, honestly. You should be reading the next page. It has a lot of interesting information. To earn the badge, a scout must provide evidence of the moonfrog. According to myth, the moonfrog hibernates for years at a time. It awakens when a solitary moonbeam shines upon its resting place. This occurs only once every 30 years at the 12th hour of the 10th night of the 8th month. The lack of data makes calculating the exact location of the moonfrog a nearly impossible task. This was it, his chance for greatness. Samuel would become the first Grizzly Scout to earn the Moonfrog Badge. Days flew by as Samuel hunted through exotic bookstores and libraries, searching for anything written about the moonfrog. Aha! Weeks turned into months as he studied planets and stars. He measured alignment angles and calculated moonbeam refractions. Entire weekends were spent photographing frogs of all shapes and sizes, just to be ready. Say ribbit! Then, one fateful night, after all the long hours and countless failures, Hey, come back. Success! He had found the location of the moon frog. Samuel shared his exciting news with his father, who pointed out a major problem. Samuel had been so focused on locating the moon frog that he had failed to notice that the 12th hour of the 10th night of the 8th month was that very night. He had only 3 hours! With no time to spare, the duo packed everything you would need for an overnight excursion and headed for the car. The trek to the moon frog was a long, perilous journey. Samuel's directions had to be followed precisely, or the two would risk becoming lost forever. 1. Drive out of the city. Right turns only. 9:15. 2. Hike the screaming forest. 9:39. 3. Wade across Skunk Swamp. Don't forget clothespins. 10:18. 4. Crawl through Booger Cave. 10:43. 5. Run really fast down Avalanche Hill. 11 o'clock. 6. Turn left at the fork in the path. 11:17. 7. X marks the moon frog. 11:46. They finally arrived at the campsite. "11:46. Samuel only had 14 minutes until a moonbeam would awaken the sleeping moon frog. He had to act quickly. 11:50. Apply frog camouflage. 11:54. Grab camera. Oh no, too many practice shots. Only one photo left. 11:57. Run to the moon frog site. 11:59. Stretch photo finger. Can't afford to cramp. 12 o'clock. Showtime. Soon, a stirring caused a few bubbles to surface. Then 2 eyes popped from the mud and blinked. Next, a head emerged, followed by a long leg with wiggling toes. Finally, an entire moon frog appeared, and much to Samuel's surprise, unfurled a magnificent crest. Samuel paused for a moment to admire the amazing frog. Then he sprang back into action and snapped a photo. He did it! He did it! He did it! Samuel Moss had become the first Grizzly Scout ever to capture a photo of the moon frog. He would be famous. His photo would appear on the cover of Grizzly Scout Weekly. The mayor would present him with the moon frog badge. He would, of course, get his own talk show, and most important, he would earn his place in the album of scouting greatness. Grizzly Scout Weekly. How I Did It by Samuel Moss. Mayor. The album of scouting greatness. When the news spread of his accomplishment, scientists from around the world would flock to meet him. He would show them his calculations and where he had found a moon frog. They would admire him for being so clever. But what if they wanted to study the moon frog? They would dig it up and bring it to a laboratory to be poked and prodded, only to spend the rest of its life in a glass jar. Municus frogium. Samuel couldn't let that happen to such an incredible animal. He would keep the moon frog's photo and location a secret. Burp. Back at the camp, Samuel told his father the whole story. the family tradition of Great Scouts would not continue with him. His father looked shocked. Then he handed Samuel the album of scouting greatness. To Samuel's surprise, the album wasn't packed with heroic scouting feats. Instead, it was filled with pages and pages of moon frogs. 1880, 1910, 1940, 1970, 1970. Samuel's father explained that every generation of the Moss family had found a moon frog, and, just like Samuel, they had decided to keep its location a secret. By protecting the moon frog, Samuel had become part of his family's tradition. Finally, he was a great grizzly scout. That night, Samuel's father regaled him with tales of past moonfrog outings. He fell asleep while trading photography tips. The end. Thanks so much for listening to my reading. I hope you loved it. Please subscribe to my channel for more videos, and have a nice day!